Yo guys, welcome to another Princess Connect video. Okay, so if you are new here, this is not my first Princess Connect video. However, I did receive a little bit of well, I say a little bit. I received quite a bit of toxicity when I tried to start making videos on this game, but then I realized, you know what? I don't give a shit what people think. Anyway, so if you are here, this means you're looking for the basics of clan battle. And although I'm nowhere near as experienced or well versed as some of the other content creators for this game already, they were here for soft launch and things like that. I have spent an abundant amount of time reading and watching as many informational resources as possible, and I'm now at a level where I'm comfortable giving information to other people. Now, I should say, full disclosure, this video was primarily made to help clan members within my own clan, within my own Discord. However, if you are seeing this from my YouTube channel because you were looking, I hope this helps you too. Drop a like if it does. Anyway, so let's get into it. First of all, we're going to go over to the Crunchyroll website. Wow, that was a bit of a tongue twister for me. Where they have announced that the very first clan battle for the global server will be starting on the 10th of February at 1 p.m. UTC and ending on the 15th of February 7:59 UTC. So 7:59 AM, by the way. I'm going to go over what clan battle is right now. This is the extreme basics for those very new players. If you're not new, we will get past this very introductory phase afterwards, so you can stick around for the information afterwards, or you can just fast forward ahead. Anyway, so clan battle is essentially the boss rush mode for this gacha game. They're very similar across multiple games, but in this scenario we are facing 5 bosses in a very linear fashion. You cannot fight one boss without defeating the one in front of it. It is timed. You will have 90 seconds to fight the boss and defeat it, or just do as much damage as possible. You can fight it a maximum of 3 times a day using what's called CP. You earn CP by spending stamina. 300 stamina will get you 1 CP. So yes, it will cost 1 CP to fight one boss, and you only get 3 fights, so 3 CP. Now this early in the game, I can't imagine many casual or a lot of free-to-play players having the ability to fight the actual 3 fights a day, so probably 2 will be tops, you know, given that it's 600 stamina. Saying that, obviously there are going to be those very sweaty, very hyper competitive individuals and clans that have already or got the ability to do the 3 fights a day. Anyway, if you don't feel bad, especially if you're in my clan. Just do what you can. All we ever ask is that you play the game. Now I'm speaking as if I'm the leader, but I know I know the leaders, so I'm very well aware of what the standards and expectations are. Even if you're not in my clan, just enjoy the game, man. Play it the best you can, do whatever you can. If you are looking for a clan, we do have a few spaces left. If you are looking for a casual clan, just to have fun and speak to people and things like that, link to my Discord is in the description. You'll find us there. Moving on. Okay, so essentially, let's just go through the notes here. How it works: you earn CP. You're spending stamina, spends CP to fight the bosses. There is a practice mode, so there is a trial fight, so you can test your team composition against the boss before actually doing the official fight. You can choose which boss you want to trial against as well, so you can develop your teams in advance. So say, for example, you are in a hyper organized clan and your account will allow you to fight one boss a lot easier than the others. Then your clan leader tells you to wait your turn, will tell you when to fight. That gives you the opportunity to spend the entire time trialing against that one boss to get the optimal team together with the optimal timing for your union bursts. Now that's another thing. There are a lot of information and resources available to tell you when to use your union bursts within what team compositions. But again, that's pretty much a hyper competitive way of looking at the game. So this doesn't belong in a basic beginner level introductory video to clan battle. So you've done all of that. You understand what it is. You understand how to get it. You understand how to get into it. What happens next? So you are basically, at the end of it all, given a score based on the amount of damage you did to the bosses in total, because overkill is a thing. If you do more damage than the boss has HP, that counts as overkill, but that additional damage that wasn't done to the boss is still counted and calculated within your score. Saying that, If you do overkill the boss and you have time remaining, that time remaining, you, the person who killed the boss, will be able to carry over to a different fight. Now, this is another sweaty strategy in which you can just leapfrog to a different boss and use that additional time with the team that killed that boss. Because yes, if you kill the boss, you can reuse the team that you did, that you used to do it. Sorry. So in saying that, the reward structure, these are the rewards for the end. This is based on your clan rank. Like I said, the clan rank is determined by how much damage you did overall to all of the bosses. Now, it's a little bit different to the Asian servers, as is the way usually for global servers, because global player bases are usually a lot smaller than the Asian player bases, which is one of the reasons that they divide the brackets up a little bit more to make it a little bit more competitive on the global side, because, well, there's less people. One more note on the Crunchyroll website that is sort of relevant to the topic but not pertinent to the guide is that they've already banned 458 suspicious accounts, which is a good sign that Crunchyroll are taking this seriously and actually are going to be involved and addressing issues that the community has with the game. That's a fantastic sign. Honestly, there are so many devs for gacha games that will just ignore you and not give a not give a shit. So, moving on, we're going to move on to the fandom wiki. All of these links will be found in the description of the video, by the way. So, this is the setup. This is how it looks. As you can see, 5 bosses with 1 penultimate boss at the very end. Work your way through. We do have information on all of the bosses. One of the great things about this community is there's so much information available in the form of resources for new players. I have actually gone around and gathered as much of these resources as possible and pinned them in my own Discord channel for anyone to use. So feel free, if you want to join the Discord for said purposes, then feel free to do so. I am still in the process of setting up the Princess Connect area of my Discord, because primarily the Discord before this was used for Danmachi. Difficulty increases in tiers. Tiers do not change until you have beaten the bosses a certain amount of time. Now, let me explain this a little bit better. If you've beat all 5 bosses, they just respawn and you start the cycle all over again. You have to beat them a certain amount of time, and when I say them, I mean like all of them, all 5 bosses, a certain amount of times to increase the difficulty into the next tier. As you can see here on the fandom page, when you defeat the tier 1 bosses 3 times, you will rank up to tier 2. So you will have to beat the bosses a total of 3, like all 5 bosses a total of 3 times to upgrade to tier 2. Now, to be fair, I think most casual clans and free-to-play clans are going to be sitting in the tier 2 area at the end of this clan battle anyway. My guess is probably round 4 or round 5 is where most clans or are going to be sitting at by the end of it. But as you can see, it does go all the way up to tier 4, and as you can see, as the difficulty increases, so does the reward modifier, the score modifier I should say, because the difficulty increases, it means you get a higher score. This modifier is based on the time remaining plus the damage dealt to the boss. This is how the score is worked out and calculated. It does say here, if you defeat the boss and before the time runs out, you'll be able to use the same team in the next boss along with the leftover time plus 20 seconds. Your team's HP and TP will be set to default. That's full health and 0 TP. Moving on to the final screen of this, I'm going to scroll up because, no, I'm not. I'm going to start here actually. This is where I wanted to start it. So, these are Bork Notes. If you are not aware, and you probably are anyway, he is another YouTuber. He does great work, great guides, and explains a lot, and has put a lot of effort into making resources available to other players. So big shout out to the dude. Link to his channel will be in the description. These are his notes, by the way. I have to thank him greatly for this, because a lot of the information I've gained is based on the notes that he's put forward. Now, this is Clan Battle. These are the bosses. These are their stats. This is vital information for you when putting a team together to fight specific bosses. So as you can see, let's take the Melsatim or Melsatim. I don't know how to pronounce his name or its name. Let's take the Melsatim, for example. He does magic damage and is weaker to, in stage 1, physical damage over magic damage. So what that tells me is I need to bring a tank that is more resistant to magic damage, as well as bringing a team that does physical damage, not magical damage. In stage, third stage, and fourth stage, you will see that the physical resistance matches the magical resistance and then overtakes. And then by the fourth stage, he'll take more damage from magic than he does from physical. Like I said, though, I don't see many clans getting to that stage this early on in the server's existence. but that is the case. This, like I said, the link to this document will be in the description, so feel free to browse for it. There is so much information, more so that than I can actually go over in this video, because I don't want to make this video too long, seeing as it's an introductory level video for clan battle. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to go up and I'm going to go over the recommended units for each role within the clan battle scenarios. Now, they do say that later on, tanks won't be necessary when you get to a certain level, as you'll be over leveled compared to the boss's total levels, which means you can just literally tank with your DPSs. So, defense debuffers, or defense shredders as they're known by a lot of people on the global server, are recommended. Makoto is best. If you didn't reroll for Makoto, I recommend taking a Makoto from your, or borrowing Makoto from your clan members, because you can borrow supports. Mitsuki, Shinobu, Carol, Jun, and Sama Makoto, who's not out yet, but obviously right there highlighted she's best forever, so maybe you want to save for her. I will say this: when putting teams together, you will need a maximum of 3. Like I said, you can only do 3 fights, but you cannot reuse the same units. So you need to be able to put 3 teams together. Now, before you stress, you can use support units. So I do recommend putting your teams together based on a 4-man roster, and then making sure you have just left a space for a support unit the entire time. So if you have Makoto, like I do, I'll be using her, and then when I can't use her, I'll be borrowing Makoto from other clan members to make sure that I always have a physical defense debuffer on the team when I'm using a physical damage team. Highly recommended magic debuffers. To be fair, I have heard from the community that bringing magic teams, not a magic team, for clan battle isn't really recommended, given that, you know, they're not at their optimal performance just yet. So, but if you do, Akari, Carol, and Anna are your debuffers. Physical attackers, and the top recommended, Jita is marked the best there. She will do a buttload of damage if you pulled her. If you don't have her, Tamaki and Suzuna are equally just as good. Well, not equally, probably not. Jita is going to do more damage. Tamaki does a good amount of damage, and so does Suzuna. Then there's Hiyori and Eriko. Eriko is probably going to be a last resort for me, seeing as she does feel a lot squishier than the others. Plus, you can't really use her damage passive against a 1-boss fight, because she's not going to kill anyone to gain the damage bonus. Magic attackers for global, Carol, Anna, and Hatsune. I'm just throwing names out here so you can look in your game to see if you have these or not. And then finally, physical AoE attackers are Hiyori, Reno, Nino, and Saran. Saran is also a good support for TP buffing, if you weren't aware. And then AoE magic attackers, Carol and Hatsune. These are the rewards, but they're set to, I do believe these are set to the Asian rewards. Yes, this is the rewards from December. I'm going to come down here because there is a category that I did skip over, and they are supports, and you can see them right here. You know, Kokoro, one of those, Maho, you know, basically these are the supports you want to go for. Monica should be your last resort, as her attack speed buff only lasts 20 seconds, but that's something you want to think about. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to my game. Oh, one more piece of advice: if you're using Kaori, this little lady right here, do not run her with Nozomi as a tank, as she will stand in front of Nozomi and kind of make Nozomi redundant, as she'll be taking the damage instead. So we're going to jump over to my game. I'm going to give you examples of a couple of teams that I put together. Now, they may not be fully optimal. These are just general team ideas that you may want to, you know, use to give yourself an idea of how team creation works for clan battle. Okay, so we're over here, we're on my main account. Please don't judge me. I have been a bit lazy the past few days, and there's a couple of characters here that I really need to pull my finger out and get to rank 7 and sort it out a bit better. But these are 2 teams that I put together. Obviously, you do need 3 teams, but to try and cut the video down a little bit, I just put 2 together real quickly. As you can see, I've got 1 tank, 1 DPS, 1 physical defense shredder, and then 1 support. Now, the difference here is, if you weren't already aware, and you probably already were, come on, I can't. This little lady right here increases attack speed and heals herself, whereas this little lady reduces the amount of magic damage you take. So just an idea to keep, just a thought, keep that in mind, what you're using the support for overall. So for example, against the Melter team, if you're taking too much magic damage, this little lady right here may be the one you want to go for. I do need to rank 7 her still, but I'm going to be doing that over the process of the next few days, as we do have at least 4 days before clan battle starts. Anyway, guys, I hope that was enough information for an introductory level to clan battle. Like I said, this primarily was designed for my clan members, but if you are here and you did learn something or it was useful to you, please make sure to drop a like, subscribe, or consider subscribing. All the credits are in the description, so are my socials. And as always, I love you, and I'll catch you later.